आज तक सरकार के तो कितने पेपर्स लीक होते हैं जो सरकार एग्जामिनेशन कंडक्ट कराती है, लेकिन चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स के टेस्ट का आज तक कोई आप नहीं कह सकते कोई पेपर लीक हुआ हो या कहीं कोई कॉम्प्रोमाइज हुआ हो। ऐसी ऑटोनोमस बॉडी को आप जो है कंट्रोल कराना चाहते हैं।
So this institute, through their legacy and history, is a very, very renowned institute. Nothing less than the IIMs or IITs. We don't need an IIA. When we talk about the Satyam story, sir, I was working with an IT company, Infosys, and when Satyam happened, the owner, he said, I'm riding on a tiger without knowing when to jump up. But I don't think it's a problem of the chartered accountant or the disciplinary committee or the standing committee. It's mainly because of the intentions of the director or the owner who forced these guys to get into this kind of book mismanagement and so on. So that is the main issue. We should try how we can more streamline this process, give them more power and everything. And we should trust our CS. They have been working for the last 75 years with much dedication, and they are also nation builders. So let's give them more autonomy rather than using the jingoism and taking out the autonomy and saying that we are providing autonomy when we are encroaching on the field areas, sir. Thank you so much. And we oppose the bill.
I'll just give this bill to examine only CA Amendment Act. The proposal is out of box suggestion of IIA. It's commercially proposed to destroy the world best and cheapest courage by privatization of it through IIA. No need to establish IIA when we have the world best CA institute, sir. And it's like we are demolishing Nalanda like institute just for competition, which is not fair, sir. I'm just here to मैं यहाँ पे सिर्फ आज बोलने के लिए आई हूँ। मैं सीए लोगों की आवाज, मेरे क्षेत्र के और विदर्भ के लोगों की, जो सीए जो प्रैक्टिस करते हैं दिन रात, पूरी सरकार को दिन रात अपना समय देते हैं कि हमारी सरकार और देश की उन्नति हो, उसके लिए साथ देते हैं। तो उनकी कुछ त्रुटियां हैं जिसको हमने एज ए सजेशन लेना चाहिए और कमिटी को भी।
Thank you, Chairman, for giving me an opportunity to participate in this discussion on the amendment bill of the Chartered Accountants Act, the Cost and Works Accountants Act, and the Company Secretaries Act. Sir, I am proud to state that I am a chartered accountant, practicing chartered accountant, and I am here in this profession for the last 40 years. Sir, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, since 1949, is being administered under the administrative control of the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. It is being managed by a council which has got 40 members, out of which 32 are elected among the members of the institute, members of the profession. 8 are nominated by the government of India. So there is already a control by the government. I don't know why the government should bring in such a bill where the control they want to, entire control to be taken off by the government or the bureaucrats. This is not fair, sir. Sir, the profession at the time when it was started in 1949, there were only 1,450 members. Now it is 350,000 members. Sir, the total number of students at the time when it was instituted in 1949, it was the number of students were less than 5,000. Now it is more than 8 lakhs. Sir, our former President of India, he applauded the profession, stating that the chartered accountants are partners in nation building. All through the last 72 years, the profession was along with the government, whoever be in government in power. We have contributed largely, and for example, in 1985, the tax audit was brought in, and the chartered accountants are doing the tax audit. This was increased the revenue of government of India to a large extent. So my humble request is that by bringing in certain provisions which will destroy the profession, that government should go back from that decision, and it should not be implemented. Now, as was already mentioned by all the members, that the disciplinary committee is going to be headed by bureaucrats. Is it correct? Excuse me? It is an insult to the profession, no doubt at all. See, the disciplinary mechanism is a quasi-judicial work, and the members should have adequate knowledge and functional experience in the field of accounting standards. There are international accounting standards, the auditing standards, the commercial laws like income tax, GST, customs, money laundering, Benami property transactions, banking mechanism, and cooperative societies, etc. See, when a person coming from outside the profession, he do not have any experience in these matters. Which government secretary has got any experience in knowing accounting standards, auditing standards? It should not be allowed. Sir, in the proposed amendment to the Chartered Accountants Act 1949, the majority would be non-chartered accountants, that is, other than chartered accountants, who do not have any experience about the practical functions of the chartered accountants, which is not appropriate and not acceptable to the profession. The interference of the central government in the internal affairs of the institute is an attack on the autonomy of the institute. I recommend that the existing question regarding the composition of the disciplinary committee should be retained, and the presiding officer should be a chartered accountant, someone with the knowledge and expertise in practice about the application of the accounting and auditing standards. Sir, with these words I conclude.
Thank you.
महोदय, आपने मुझे the chartered accountant, the cost and works accountants and the company secretaries amendment bill, be brief, you have only 3 minutes. 21 पर बोलने का मौका दिया। इस सरकार ने क्या किया? हर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में अपना कब्जा करना चाहती है, डायरेक्टली या इनडायरेक्टली। भाई इतनी अच्छी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन चल रही है, आप आज चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स को आप कंट्रोल कर रहे हो, कल आप क्या होगे कि साहब बार काउंसिल को भी कंट्रोल करना है, परसों आपको बाकी तो कोई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन आपने छोड़ी नहीं है, जितनी इंडिपेंडेंट बॉडीज थी सबको ध्वस्त करने का काम आपने कर दिया। साहब ये बड़ी मुश्किल से, बड़ी मेहनत से इन प्रोफेशनल्स ने इस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को खड़ा किया, उसको आप कंट्रोल करने की कोशिश मत कीजिए। मैं आपके माध्यम से सभापति महोदय, देखिए 3.5 लाख जो है चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स हैं कि साहब खुद आप तय करेंगे, खुद ही खेलेंगे, खुद ही खिलाड़ी होंगे और खुद ही एम्पायर होंगे। साहब सरकार में क्या होता है? क्या सरकारी बाबू अगर किसी के खिलाफ शिकायत आती है तो क्या सेक्रेटरी अपने जॉइंट सेक्रेटरी या डायरेक्टर के खिलाफ इंक्वायरी नहीं करता? क्या वहां पर उसको पनिशमेंट नहीं मिलता? अरे ये कहां का तर्क है आपका कि वो ऑटोनोमस बॉडी है तो वो अपनी डिसिप्लिनरी कमेटी नहीं बना सकती, जबकि सरकार के अंदर तो जो सीनियर ऑफिसर होता है वही जूनियर ऑफिसर खिलाफ कार्रवाई करता है? ये कंट्राडिक्शन है। ऑफ इंटरेस्ट की बात करते हैं, कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट की बात करते हैं सर। ये कहां, मतलब क्या सरकार में ये कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट नहीं है? सर मैं आपके माध्यम से इतना ही कहना चाहता हूं, मेडिकल कमीशन बनाया आया था, बिल आया था, हमने भी सपोर्ट किया था कि शायद कुछ अच्छा होगा, लेकिन हम देख रहे हैं अब कि सब कुछ सरकार के कंट्रोल में आ गया। मैं आपके माध्यम से इतना ही कहना चाहता हूं कि सरकार ऐसी ऑटोनोमस बॉडीज में इंट्रूजन ना करे, उनकी स्वायत्ता के साथ कॉम्प्रोमाइज ना करें। जो स्वायत्त बॉडी है, जो ऑटोनोमस बॉडी है, उनको ऑटोनॉमी उनकी ग्रांट होनी चाहिए। मैं इस बिल का विरोध करता हूं इन शब्दों के साथ। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। श्री अजय रंजन।
Thank you, Chairman, sir, for allowing me to speak on this very important bill, the Chartered Accountants, the Cost and Works Accountants, and the Company Secretaries Amendment Bill 2021. Sir, I rise to oppose the bill, and sir, I was going through the standing committee report. So this is the basic thing on the coordination committee, and now the revised coordination committee, it has a secretary who is heading the committee. I think this is an attack on autonomy, and I was hearing my esteemed colleagues from the treasury benches. They've been mentioning that this bill has been brought in so that more autonomy could be given. But we have seen what happened in medical council. They will do the same in bar council, the dental council, each and every institution they're trying to attack. At the same time, they have the guts to say that we are giving you more autonomy. This is a joke on all of us. And sir, chartered accountant, I'll tell you a story about when we were in college. One of my friends was a topper in my batch. Excepting him, we all decided to get into engineering or medical profession. But that guy, he went into BCom and then he got into chartered accountant. So this institute, through their legacy and history, is a very, very renowned. Nothing less than the IIMs or IITs. We don't need an IIA. The thing is, they have around 7.5 lakh students and 3.5 lakh members as of now, the ICAI. And what we are doing now is we are trying to dilute it just because our Honorable Prime Minister, he made a speech that your signature is more important than my signature. And what does this parliament have to do? They have to bring a bill where they say we'll give you autonomy, but they will take away your autonomy.
Autonomous character of all these three organizations. So that is the main apprehension and opposition which I would like to make. Sir, these three institutions are having self-governing exercise of self-professional institutes. They are self-professional institutes or bodies. As rightly pointed, no money or no budgetary grant is from the government. My concern that the autonomy of the professional bodies are under attack. So slowly the government is taking control of all these institutions, just like in the case of the National Medical Commission Bill. Sir, what is the role of self-governing professional bodies? Sir, I would like to quote the speech or observations made by the chairman of the Finance Standing Committee, Sri Jain Singh Ji, in the Standing Committee. I would like to quote it. The autonomy and independence of the professional institutions should not be interfered unnecessarily. The integrity associated with the financial reporting cannot be diminished in any way, since it reflects the business standards and financial robustness for the entire country. This is the observation of the Standing Committee Chairman, Sri Jain Singh in the Standing Committee. I have got it from the records. So if that be the observation of the Chairman of the Standing Committee of Finance Committee, they have scrutinized the bill. How can the Standing Committee agree with the provisions of this bill? That is a pertinent question which I would like to know, because autonomy shall never be interfered unnecessarily. Here, interference or unnecessary interference of the executive or the professional autonomous body is there. So how can Jain Singh, as the chairman of the standing committee, is making a very clear observation regarding the autonomous character of all these organizations? Voting this bill means it is squarely contradiction to the observation which he has already made. So, sir, ICAI, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, is having a long tradition and having larger strength, nearly 3.5 lakh members and 7.5 lakh students are there. Their main, sir, the main concern of this Chartered Accountants Institute, I'm having it detailed since there is no time, I'm concluding, sir. So their main concern is the presiding office of the disciplinary committee should be a chartered accountant. And present mechanism, there are 5 members. Present mechanism, there are 5 members. 2 from the institute, 2 from the government of India, and 1 from the president. That is 2 government nominees are already there. And you may kindly see all decisions during the 72 years. All the 72 years, all the decisions are taken unanimously. Not even a single instant of dissent was there. The presence of the government nominee is mandatory for quorum. As per the present provisions of the Act, even the presence of a government nominee is must for having the quorum of the meeting. And sir, the president, vice president, the CCM are elected representatives of the chartered accountants and are accountable and subject to public scrutiny. In this act, it is being stated a statement saying that they are no having accountability. They are no, because they are being elected representatives of the chartered account. They are subject to accountable and also they are subject to the public scrutiny. So this practice is since 72 years without any complaints. In the system now, the government is normal. So